What is up, guys? Megawell Gamer 218 coming back at you live with some live commentary. Well, we're actually doing a video on something else, but I'm gonna be having live gameplay in the background. I am playing this live, so if you do see me kind of, kind of get off track or something like that, it's because I'm playing a game while I'm trying to say something. But whatever. The topic that we're speaking out today is the future of Call of Duty and Battlefield. Now, that's an odd topic to be talking about right now, but it's actually a good one to be talking about since we now have both trailers and sort of gameplay on both of the games. We have a gameplay trailer on Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, and we have a game, actually a beta of it, of Battlefield Hardline. Now we're going to speak about some of the problems that I've ran into and that I think are evidence of the game being bad, and we're going to speak about those and how they broke the game and how they made the last bit of games that they bring out sucked. So I'm going to speak about them, and that's pretty much it. Then I'm going to end off with what I hope in the new upcoming ones. So the first we're going to talk about is Battlefield 4. We're going to talk about some problems that have Battlefield 4. Now these are big problems that I think are big enough to put on the list. One problem that I'm experiencing, which is terrible, is the zero health deaths. In the multiplayer, let's see if I can get killed here. So you see that little sign where it says health? Sometimes, or a lot of times, that will be 0. You guys will both be dead. You won't see the player moving around. It will show you to be dead. It will show both of you guys to be dead. It will say that he killed you at 0 health, which is what that system is supposed to do. It's supposed to show you what health the player killed you at, which is something that I think is good in the game and that should be fixed immediately. Now, this is the last update for the game that I have, and it hasn't been fixed. So it's just something I would really love them to fix in the next upcoming game, which is no more zero death health. Have us both get the kill, have it be just like Call of Duty where you guys both die at the same time and you guys both get the kill. In the zero death health, I'm going to call it a glitch or bug. Only one person gets the kill, and you better hope that you do, because sometimes it'll say you got killed by somebody else, or say they got killed by somebody else, or something. It will always have a excuse to how one of you died. It won't have you both died by each other. It'll have you died by somebody else, which is terrible. And the next thing we're going to get on to is the netcode issue on Battlefield. Now, if you don't know what netcode is, I will link to a description in the video. This guy, he kind of rants about everything I kind of am about Battlefield. But instead, he actually explains at one part of his video netcode. And what netcode is, it's a way of transmitting your location and data, pretty much everything that you see on your screen, to another player's screen. So, for instance, if a person is... oh, God. And that's another problem too, but we'll get into that later as well. So what the netcode is supposed to do, it's supposed to show this. I will aim and I will shoot. Now to those two players, it's supposed to show that I aimed and I shot. Come on, here you go. Now it's supposed to show that I aimed and I shot. That is what it's supposed to do. Why it's a problem is because is not transmitting enough data to where both of the players can see whatever's doing. Like, for instance, I will tell you a story. A story once as when I was shooting somebody and he came from like the left of me. I didn't see him and he shot me. And I watched the kill cam and everything. I watched the video, it was on camera. I don't have the video anymore, but it was on camera and I saw it and he shot me to the left. And I didn't see it before, but after watching it, I slowed down the video and then I finally saw that we saw each other. But that's something that the netcode has a problem with doing, is it has a problem displaying where players are, because it's not updating you fast enough. Now, like I said, I'm going to link a video in the description to another guy. He'll explain it better. He goes into a Counter-Strike, which is a game that's very old. He goes into how it does its netcode and how this game is doing its netcode. And now we're going to go on and move on to the next problem, which is the gun mechanics. This game has kick no matter what. It has different variations of it, at least to me. This gun I'm using right now is an AUG. This gun has kick, it goes up. Now that is what every gun is supposed to have. It's supposed to have kick going upwards. Instead, another gun, which I'll pull it out since I died. Just give me a minute to be dead here. This gun right here, the SAR-21. This gun has to have some kind of kick. The game can't be like Call of Duty where it just shoots relatively forward. No, this gun, if you see, it kind of swivels left and right and left and right. Now the foregrip is stopping that from kind of happening, but without it, the gun shoots left and right. Like it strays left and right. It'll go wildly left and right, which is not supposed to happen, especially if for a gun that's supposed to have high stability. I mean, I can understand if it had low stability that it would be going up and down, left and right. That makes sense. But no, this gun's supposed to have high stability and it's still going left and right with kick. No. You can't replace having the gun go up as kicking instead of it going left to right. That is even apparently in the machine guns, which is really, guys, instead of making the gun go relatively up, just like gradually going up like a scale, you had to go, oh, no, we're going to make it go left and right, left and right. I mean, because we can't have every gun go kick, you know what I'm saying? That's just why I think the developers thought. I really don't think that was the best design flaw. That's one of the design flaws, my bad. That's one of the design flaws they have in the game. The next topic, the second to last topic we're getting into is the player movement and the clipping. Now, if you look at one of my videos, it's either part 3 that I have a clipping issue, which is clipping is when you're stuck between something and you cannot get out. So I was clipping between 2 of my friendly teammates. Since you are the leader, they follow you, and then I went up to a platform to go scope out some enemies, and I marked them on my map, and then when I tried to get down, I was stuck there. I couldn't move left, right, jump, nothing. I was stuck. And then I had to restart I had to restart to my last checkpoint. So I had to restart essentially the whole mission all over again, which was something that should never happen in the single player campaign. And that sort of moves on to our next subject. Our next subject is but before that, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention player movement. Player movement, the problem that I'm speaking of is when you'll be running and you'll automatically out of nowhere just get stuck on something. And that's also kind of a terrain problem because sometimes the terrain doesn't load up. But yes, that's the problem. You'll get stuck at random points. You'll be running and then you'll try to vault over something and get stuck. That's half terrain, half player movement. So I'm just leave it at that. And the segue into our single player is god awful. Yes. The single player campaign, as they mentioned in a video that they said is supposed to be a military interpretation of an average military day, so to speak. Sort of like military emotion. Some might say how people feel in the military, when they're in military actions. They missed that point entirely, especially in the opening mission. In the opening mission, it felt like they were trying to be like, come on, man, please be sad, please be sad. That's why I felt in the first mission. Because the first mission, you start off with some relatively sad-sounding music, and now there's a difference between being sad and listening to sad-sounding music. It was sad-sounding music, and on top of that, you had to shoot the window open to get out of the van that was underwater. And they had the main protagonist shoots out the window, so you shoot out the window. There's a guy in the car, and he was like, no, Wrecker, we can't leave him in the car, man. We can't do this, all Marines, we gotta all stick together. But you still have to shoot out the window, because he says shoot out the window, and it's like all emotional, like, oh my god, a guy died, no, so sad. And then they actually flash backwards to how he died, which is like missing the whole point of it being emotional. Like, dude, there's no emotion. I already saw him. So there's no point of actually backtracking. There's a point of backtracking to see how he died, or even in the next mission explaining how he died. But there was no point of actually showing his death again. There's just like, okay, no one cares. He died. You don't have emotional connection to any character at all yet. There's no point in killing one. Doesn't matter. And then they keep going by, and then they kill another player. But like I said, you don't know them well enough yet. You haven't been with them, enough to actually care. And that's the single player in a nutshell. It's just bad. It's just relatively bad. If you can recap the Battlefield 3 campaign, that could have been a soldier story if they made it more realistically soldier-like. But it could have been a soldier story. That was a really good game, Battlefield 3 single player, because they had a bunch of characters at the end killed. Characters that you played with a lot in the whole campaign. They're with you damn near all of the missions, and then they die, and it's really emotional, and it's like that. So yeah. And now we're going to move on to Call of Duty Ghosts, in which ways that I believe that is fundamentally bad or broken. One thing is the spawns. Now, you don't really see that much, the spawn errors in the multiplayer. At least it depends on game types. The only game type that you can see the error in the spawns is in either A, free-for-all, or in B, domination. Now, in one of those two, whichever one you pick, your player will spawn somewhere that's so odd. For instance, a lot of Call of Duty players will cap 2 flags and just kill everybody at the last flag. Now, what's weird is that you'll spawn at the enemy spawn. Yeah. They didn't capture all the flags yet. They haven't captured all the flags. So you're supposed to still spawn at the same flag area. But instead, you will spawn at the other side of the map, at their spawn. And it's like, dude, how are you going to spawn at a map or a spot that you haven't captured yet? It's like somebody going into war behind enemy lines. Like, really? You're telling me that you started behind enemy lines instead of in front of the enemy. Wow. Just wow. That's not supposed to happen. I mean, come on. You're telling me that there was just like a bunch of people that spawned right behind me? Like, how is that possible? We have that flag. How they spawn behind me? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And that's one error that on the top hand that I see. Even if you go to one of the videos, his name is Optic Nadeshot. He spoke about that issue as well, and we're kind of both speaking about the issue, which is just... And the next problem that I'm getting is definitely the knifing problems. Now, if you haven't played Call of Duty Black Ops 2, which is Call of Duty Ghosts' predecessor, that game did knifing very well. How the knifing mechanic in the game was just amazing. Ghost missed the point entirely. They were like, wait, you're supposed to do this when you knife? So one thing that I don't like is that you can get killed while doing the knifing animation. Yes, it is possible. When you knife somebody, you'll go into an animation where you stab them and take their dog tag. And in that animation, they don't give you invisibility. Like, I would love for them to do that. Put invisibility. Like if I'm going to sit here and watch an animation that I really don't need in the first place, you better make me invisible. So that's the biggest issue I have with the game. And also, in the same topic of knifing, at some times you won't actually clip to the character and knife him. You will actually move around him and just be like knifing the air, and they'll look at you like, what is this guy, stupid or something? So that's another thing I really don't like, which is, I can understand if I was like probably this much away that I can hit him, but if you're like this much away, I can still be able to hit you. You know, if I step a little bit forward, I can still hit you. But if I'm this far away, I can understand that I won't. But even from this far away, you still do this. Like, you don't actually hit him like that. You just kind of move away like this. So it's hard to explain while playing the other game, but... And then lastly, the biggest issue I have is the map design. No, this is not me lagging. This is not my camera lagging or anything. This is me giving you the longest pause ever. Mainly because Infinity Ward, this is like their, what, 8th game? 8th. This is their 8th game that they have made on the Call of Duty franchise. I think it is. If I'm wrong, I'll put in the description the right number, but this is just off the top of my head right now. They made about 6 to 7 games roughly. Some of the games were made by other people, but most of them were made by them. Most of them. And they're this long way in, and they're still having the problem. Like, I don't know. In this one, it felt like they were trying to be Battlefield, because they range from either huge big maps where it's like ridiculously big, where I'm trying to like run around for like 5-10 minutes trying to kill somebody, and that's not what Call of Duty is known for. It's known for fast action, run and gunning. This you had to. I mean, there was one map. I can't remember the exact name of it, but there was one map where you have to run around for a couple of minutes just to find somebody, just to find even one of your teammates. So, you know, that's the biggest issue I have. I mean, maybe it's like 32 players or something like that, 12 on 12. That makes sense. But when it's like 6 on 6, 12 players in a huge map like that, what were they thinking? You know what I'm saying? It's like you're putting 12 players on a huge map. Do you really think they're gonna find each other that fast? So, yeah. There's only 2 maps that are acceptable, and that's Sovereign and Strike Zone. Those are 2 medium-sized maps where running and gunning is just where you can actually run and gun in that part of the map, which is sad. That shouldn't be the only map that you can actually run and gun on. So, that's just the problems. Then there's a problem to have with both of the games, and it has to do with the developers not paying enough attention to this, and I'm really trying to bring attention to this topic, and that is field of vision. For years, I tell you people, for years, people on PC, on their computers, on their laptops, whatever they have that plays their game, their PC, their laptop, whatever you want to call it, their computer, they have a field of vision slider. Most of the FPSs or shooters that they have on the game have a field of vision slider, which on console is always evolved to either 60, 65, or for one rare occurrence 70. They are locked to that one size to where you can see in real life. That would be like putting your hands over your eyes. So put your hands relatively at equal size to your eyes. That's what you can see. I don't know what I'll do for that. If you go on my Twitter, I'll take a picture of kind of how it looks, how you should angle your hand so it looks like you're looking at probably about 65 FOV. Because we have a huge field of vision as humans, and it's hard to put that in the game because our field of vision is freaking huge. But in a game, there's an acceptable field of vision. 65 is not one. 65, you can barely see. You can't even see what's to the left of you. You can see like to the top left of you, or to the front left of you. You can't see what's directly or a little bit to the left of you. I mean, come on. You can see slightly to the left of you. In games where you can have 120 freaking FOV, you can see people all the way to the left of you. It's just ridiculous that we don't have this on console yet. I mean, this is the 4th console generation, guys. 4th or 5th, one of those. That we've been gaming for so long, and people have been on consoles for so long, and they haven't had the idea to put a field of vision slider in a first-person shooter when that's almost mandatory on a PC. Really, guys? That hasn't come up in your head like, oh, we should put in a field of vision. I don't literally think 65 is a big field of vision. Now, do I? As a game developer, I shouldn't. As a person, I still shouldn't. That is just unacceptable. That is just unacceptable. There are so many games I can tell you on the PC platform that have field of vision. One of them is even also a console game. Yeah, I said it. One of them is a console game. And they have mods and these packs that actually kind of implement that. In Modern Warfare 2, they have that. They have in pretty much every Call of Duty game. And I'm not for sure, but I think they do have that in Battlefield as well. But essentially, if they don't have it, there's like these packs or these mods that you can get that actually will do the FOV. If you are on Steam, they don't really care about that. At least the last time I played a game without FOV on it, and when I put it on there, Steam didn't really care about it. I didn't get kicked off the client server, so I was fine. But that still doesn't underweigh the fact that even though I am on a console, not on a PC, I should still get the FOV slider. Because, I mean, we already optimize the games for the console anyways. So why not make something better than just, oh, if we optimize it right so you shouldn't get any problems, have fun? Like, no. Come on, man. Let me get some of the other fun that, PC gamers will get. FOV. Come on, man. 65? Some people actually get motion sickness from 65. Yeah, search that up, guys. Search it up. Do people get motion sickness from 65? They don't get motion sickness, but they do get some problems because the FOV is too small for them. They need a bigger one. And that's really evident in people who grew up playing PC. Like if they always played PC and they've always used the FOV slider, people on PC have a big problem with that. Even one of my friends, he played this game. He played a Call of Duty game and it had small FOV, and he played a Battlefield game and it had small FOV, and he had the biggest problem with it. He didn't like it and all that stuff. But after that, we are not there yet. We are not to the real, what I think will be the real next gen consoles, which is, well, the real next gen games. And I hope that Battlefield Hardline and Call of Duty Advanced Warfare prove that this is really next gen stuff. That we are really stepping up and going to the next gen. I don't just want to see more pretty graphics. I want to see better mechanics, guys. Better mechanics, everything. Everything I want to be next gen. Better mechanics, better graphics, everything. So I have enough stuff to talk about the Battlefield Hardline and the Advanced Warfare. Now, we're just going to briefly go over about them. We're not going to actually, go into a whole review that I'm going to start doing. But we're not going to go into that. That'll be a topic for another video. But yeah. Battlefield Hardline. This should be full of pauses. Battlefield Hardline is a sort of, I'm going to say Detroit, I don't know what season, but a Detroit crime shooter. Essentially, it's like a Battlefield version of a game, I think it's called Payday. Some along those lines. They have two of those. Payday, something like that. I'll put the name. If I'm wrong about the name, I will put the right one in the description or put an annotation of it on the screen. But I'm just call it Payday for now. Payday. It's pretty much like that, except on a Battlefield scale. So you have cops and you have robbers. Robbers, they do exactly what it's called. They rob the bank and take as much money as they can. The cops are supposed to stop that and kill all of the robbers. And when I saw and played the game of that, I was just like, I was lost for words, guys. I didn't know what to say. I was like, wait, let me see. Battlefield Bad Company was the first game that came out. That was an army military shooter. The second one, military shooter. The third one, military shooter. The fourth one, military shooter. And now we're to Detroit crime shooter. Is there anybody just like sitting there shaking their head as like, wait. So you're telling me that I went from shooting people all the way in a different country to now I'm shooting people in downtown? It's just a big hit and miss with that game. It's like, okay, I thought we were going to go to another army game or military shooter. Why did we go to now downtown Detroit shooter? What's going on? So that's all I gotta say for the game right now. I have played it. I guess it's okay for a beta. For a beta, it's actually pretty good. But, you know, I just don't know what to say about that. I have zero thoughts on that game right now because, well, we went from a military shooter to a crime shooter. Okay. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, in my opinion, took the idea of Call of Duty Black Ops and said, you know what? We made it a little bit too futuristic, man. I mean, come on, that's not realistic. So let's fix this up. And instead, they made it, you have a exosuit, which is something that's very cool in its own mind. You have an exosuit, and you can do jump jet, and you can do jump jets. You know, you can, you know, jump higher in the air by a jet back that you have on your back, like a burst. It is by Sledgehammer Games, so this is a different game, and I hope that they actually do it goodly. Really use the idea of the exosuit and having it be mentally, like, you know, shape the all-around game, you know. So yeah, that's all, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. Like the video, subscribe for more, and I will see you guys later. Peace.